is SANDCAST, beach volleyball with Bourne and Travis Mewhirter, brought to you. Today will be fittingly brought to you by Firefly Recovery, since Eric Beranek is going to need a little bit of recovery after the marathon weekend. Congrats on making the semis and a career-high third-place finish out of the qualifier. It's freaking awesome, dude.
Felt good.
Great weekend.
Felt good to do it in Manhattan.
Yeah, for sure. And now, I mean, how does everything feel now? I know it probably felt good for third. I'm sure.
Are you hurting more from the tournament or the party? The after party?
More from the tournament. I actually didn't have much of a party. After we lost, I did go straight to shells. And it was like boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm drunk. And then grab a few of my friends. We went to my dad's house, which is pretty close to the Strand, which is nice. And we threw some meat on the barbecue from Manhattan Meats.
Nice.
I got to like sit in the hot tub, just kind of relax, drink a glass of wine. And then it was my best friend's birthday. So they're two twins. It was their 24th birthday. And I told them like all weekend I was going to like, as soon as I'm done, like I'm coming.
Yeah.
So it was really funny to walk from Shellback. Everyone's like, you did it! Drinks on us, drinks on us! And then I walk in a room of probably like 10 people carving little replica like teeth out of ivory soap.
What?
Okay.
It was just like, this is different.
It's a little random.
Yeah, it was a change of pace. But I had to because it was my best friend's birthday.
That was the birthday party?
It was family. It was family. That was the
Every
birthday
family's
party.
got their tradition.
The dad's a dentist. The son's gonna be a dentist. Dental hygienist. It was just something to do.
Now.
I don't know.
That's cool.
That'll steady the nerves. Just carving.
I had my ivory bar of soap with my name on it, but I didn't get to that point.
Yeah.
My hands were too shaky from the day. I was like, I think I'm out for this one.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like going into like a hot tub and drinking wine, you're like, how can I dehydrate myself even worse?
Yeah,
Totally.
for sure.
So me and Tri were like looking at your BVB. So you pretty much like tripled your career earnings in a weekend, and then your points. I was looking at it for Chicago. You went from like maybe 400 or 500 to like
I think it was high 500s.
to like 1100. Good weekend.
That's gotta feel good.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Oh yeah.
So I think hopefully that'll be my last qualifier forever.
Yeah.
Rooting for you.
That's the goal.
Me and you see each other in qualifiers too much, so I hope to keep you out.
Seriously.
Seriously. Yeah, we went through a run where we played each other in like, I think 4 qualifiers and maybe 6 or 7. I remember like sitting after the Huntington qualifier 2 years ago, and we were both like we ended up playing each other first round, and then I beat him in that one, and then I ended up losing to some Norwegian guys, and then we were like watching the collegiate beach championships, and we were both just sitting there like super bummed, and we were like, the breakthrough's coming, and then a week later we played each other in Austin, and that was one that I made it through.
Oh yeah,
and had to play him again when he was playing with Matt Prosser, and it was like an hour, 20-minute match, just barn burner.
It was crazy.
And then we played each other one more time, and then Chicago, and he beat me in the final round. And then I don't think we've seen each other since.
No.
Thank heavens.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Our first main draw match was this weekend.
Before going into it, I was like, this guy has gotten the best of me every freaking tournament. And I'm like, it's hard to be like mad at him because he's such a nice guy. But it's like, this is ridiculous. Well, I was cursed.
And then you switched sides, played with a lefty, and that's how you neutralized the lefty factor by picking up cold fears.
Yeah, you're like, I knew you were a left side player.
Been trying to get him to play left side for so long, and then the first time he plays against me, left side beats me, knocking out of Chicago.
Yeah. Felt good. You're welcome.
But now you're going to be straight into Chicago, and like after like you had a tough one, like the toughest draw of any qualifier in Hermosa for sure, and then you get in Manhattan. Like, what were the expectations going in with Bill? Because you guys weren't even that great of a seed, even though you were probably one of the best teams in the qualifier, and if the results show anything, you were the best team in the qualifier. Like going into another one, like what was the expectation for you and Bill coming in?
Yeah, well, I'll kind of bring it back even a little bit more. So going into the season, I wanted just to get a guy, to be with the entire year, train, do it right, grab a coach. That was my focus. And because I had played with so many other guys, prior, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I want to play with a guy and just stick with him. But I played with Toppel, realized I'm like, he's not really like taking it seriously. He's doing Toppel.
Yeah.
He's being him.
Well, he's got a full-time job.
Yeah, he's got a family
right?
and a job, yeah.
He's got injury points from 1997.
Yeah. So the way it worked out, we linked up, and then Marty came along. And I thought Marty was going to be the guy, but it just like some things just didn't completely click with us. And I think we're just on different paths in like different times in our life. But he's a baller. But then after Austin, we qualified, and I had a cyst that like swelled up the size of like a golf ball on my tailbone. Oh
man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I literally was in so much pain in Austin. It was the worst thing, and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell Marty.
You can't really show anyone that one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember I got home, and my buddies were on the couch, and I walk in, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I literally dropped my pants, dropped trowel, and bent over, and they're like, "Yeah!" And it was literally out of a movie. They're like, "Can I touch you?" I was like, "Get away from me." But the next day, I went in to go get it like lance drained, but they did a full-blown like surgery on me in the doctor's office, and I didn't realize it. And an hour later, when I was home, I was like sitting on the john at my house, thinking everything's gonna be fine, and then I go into septic shock, and it was crazy. Yeah.
What? I don't even know. Like,
so I was.
What that is entirely.
Your blood it was infected with the crap in my system.
Oh, right.
It's like a blood infection.
So like they drained it, but like some of the
the infection got in my bloodstream.
Oh.
So I think like your organs start to shut down. Like old people die because they can't fight it off.
Yeah. Wow.
So you break a hip and then you're done.
Right.
You go into septic shock. But yeah, my dad picked me up, rushed me to the hospital. Then I was laid up in the hospital for 2 days. And then I didn't play New York, and I didn't play Seattle.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Seattle, was that because Marty was hurt? And
that was because Marty was hurt, but it was all so late.
Yeah.
Like I still wasn't quite right. But I got picked up by Billy to play in Pottstown. I had no clue how he knew I wasn't going to play.
Yeah.
But he called me pretty much like a minute after Marty said he wasn't going to be able to play. It was the weirdest timing ever. Then Billy and I flew to Pottstown and had a great run there. Yeah, and that's kind of where... That's not where it started.
Grass tourney, right?
Yeah.
Where is that again?
That's in Pennsylvania.
Outside
Pottstown, Pennsylvania?
It's in. It's actually pretty close to like my hometown. It's just like in like southeast or like kind of the middle of Pennsylvania in the south. It's just middle of nowhere.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. And then come Hermosa, back to reality. Bill can't play in the AVP yet. I play with Marty. We don't qualify. Palm and Merrick beat us.
Yeah, which like tough draw.
Yeah, tough draw.
In a big qualifier, like there were maybe like 4 or 5 teams that you're like, don't be them. That was definitely one of them.
Yeah. The day before my girlfriend breaks up with me, like the qualifier.
Before Hermosa.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I didn't play in 2 AVPs. I come back, I don't qualify. Girlfriend breaks up with me. I'm like, awesome. We're back.
Thanks, life.
All-time low. Sweet.
All-time low. Sweet.
Yeah. So coming back to play with Bill after that and having those kind of doubts in the back of my mind. But it was... Someone said I had to practice with Corey Glaive, and it was just him and I.
He's a great coach.
He's a great coach for sure. Good guy. And last year, he told me, he's like, there's kind of a different you. There was expecting to win, which I expect to win now, and there was wanting. and the drive to win. He's like, you got to find that, and you got to work super hard to get back. I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And my roommates, one of them went to China, one of them went to Cuba, and I had the whole week to myself to just train like an animal and really stay focused. And I felt ready and prepped mentally for Manhattan.
Yeah.
When Bill wanted to play, I didn't know. I wanted a top 10 finish, but I had no clue, what we had in store for us.
Right.
So it felt really good to beat a lot of good teams, and I think the biggest breakthrough for me was beating Hayden and Theo, and that felt really good. And it was like, holy shit, the tournament just started.
Yeah.
Here we go. And that was already our 6th game.
Yeah.
In
6th match, and who knows what set that was at that point.
That was what, second round?
It was the third round.
Third
Because
round.
we lost our first
Oh, you
game.
lost your first one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Then we had to battle these guys who took us to 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Wow.
And then
And
45
then
minutes
Theo.
later, we play Theo and Hayden.
Had you played Theo or Hayden before?
Yeah, they took me out of Manhattan on that same court the year before.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
You and Pross?
Yep.
And
Crazy.
well, the crazy thing was that, you guys looked like you were about ready to faint in our match. Like, the first set, when I was like, Raph, like, they're dead. Like, let's just put the ball in play. Like, they're going to fall over. Because, like, at that point, like, you had made it through the qualifier. And, like, for a lot of qualifier teams, like, that, you get a little bit of release. And you're like, all right, we made it. Like, pressure's off. And a lot of people, like, kind of step off the pedal a little bit and just get rolled over. And I was like, this might be what's about to happen. Because then even, like, second set, like, we had, like, 16-13 lead. And I was like, all right, let's just keep pushing this. And then when you guys ended up beating us, it's like there's no way they have any gas left in the tank. Like, and you had a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you find that extra gear? Because when I found out that you guys won, like, I about fell over. I was like, holy shit! Like, where did you guys find the legs for that?
I think it was just more so like there's a lot of still stuff in the air from Bill and the AVP, and it's scary to talk about. I don't want to say anything bad or wrong, and I'm not going to.
I mean, I've talked to Donald at the AVP, and he said he has chat with Bill, and it's not really a thing anymore.
No, it's not a thing.
They had to do what they had to do.
But it was his first time coming back since 2016, and then I didn't have in my mind successful 3 tournaments, even though I didn't miss it. So it just felt uneasy for us to just stop right there.
Right.
I was like, we got to freaking do this right now. We got to find a way.
Yeah.
And it was just, the whole tournament, I think, was just pure will.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to get served the majority of the balls.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to have to pass, get in the right string or approach, and just come in hard and just bang. I knew what I had to do.
Yeah. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was also, it's interesting you're saying that you had to create that expectation to win, right?
Yeah.
That's what you were saying earlier. Do you feel like there was also some pressure let off just because of the fact that you're not a favorite and that your new partnership and, every match you're the underdog? Did it feel like there was more pressure or less? I feel like it can go either way. That's why, like we don't.
It felt neutral.
Win.
I didn't feel. I wasn't thinking
just
about
going.
that. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about. There's less pressure. Like we're expected to win,
right,
or we're expected to lose.
Right.
It was just we got to win.
just
yeah.
How are we gonna win
a point? Right.
Yeah, let's just win the point.
Right.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of that.
Yeah, love it.
I know for going into a match against like a Theo and Hayden.
Yeah.
Bill's been at that level for a long time now, and so for him, I feel like mentally it was probably a little bit easier for him to have that expectation to win that we were talking about. For you going in, and you're saying, all right, like we have to win. Was it any different mentally preparing for a team like that where like Hayden has been one of the best players in the world for 2 decades, and you got Theo who's a world-class blocker. Mentally, like, how do you get that shift from being sort of in awe and like, oh wow, like we're playing a world-class team to we're going to win?
Because we were playing good ball.
Yeah.
Like after I sided out and I felt like I was in such a rhythm. They were serving me every ball, and I was just like, okay, this is real. Like, I'm playing good volleyball against these guys. We can beat them.
Yeah.
And I just felt confident. And Bill kind of, I don't know, I forget who was saying it, calling him the Stallion Whisperer. It was pretty funny, but he had a plan, like every single point.
Right.
And he's a big reason, I think, he's able to hone in some positive thinking and just worry about the play.
Yeah.
He really narrows my focus.
Right. Yeah, it seems like Bill's, I mean, first of all, fundamentally he's great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna take care of every easy ball. He's not gonna let a low seam go by him when that's his call. Whereas some people are gonna make amazing plays, but then they're gonna let that easy one go by. He's just gonna take all the easy plays, all the ones he should take care of, he's gonna take care of.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, I mean, that's why he's been successful. You know, it's not, his game's not like, you don't look at it and you're like, wow, that guy's dominant. He's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, he's not that fast, doesn't jump that high. He has long ass arms.
Yeah.
But
so deceiving.
But then you watch, and the more you watch, like, it's so consistent, and he's taking care of all the easy balls and making matches go in his favor. And I think that consistency as a partner is like, it doesn't matter if you hit a ball out or 2 balls out, because your guy's going to be consistent. He's going to give you that set in the same spot.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you make an error or 2 errors and then your guy pulls your set, and you're like, oh crap, like, I can't make 3 errors, but now you're making it more difficult on me, you know, and you don't have that consistency, and you don't have the expectation of consistency. I feel like that's really it's helpful to have that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. He was the best player that I've played with so far in an AVP.
Yeah.
100%.
And he's also coming into like a point in his career where he's trying to make that jump into, you know, he might have done it sooner had he not been banned.
Yeah.
But he kind of dug his own grave on that one. Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine if he and Myles were on tour the last 2 years, they probably would have tapped into probably semifinals, I think would be an expectation for them.
Oh, yeah. Myles comes in, takes a second in Hermosa.
Yeah.
Right.
Bill comes, takes a second, take a third.
Yeah.
It's like, where have these guys been?
Yeah.
Right. They kind of been taking care of the lower levels and winning at that level, which I think there's a lot to say about that too. Is like, you got to learn how to win. And if you're always at the top level, you're just getting beat and beat and beat. You kind of never really learn how to win, you know?
Yeah.
And whereas they kind of did do that. I even think of that for myself. I'm like, God, this is frustrating. Like, you know, World Tour is so hard. If you get a podium, it's like amazing, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot to be said. Like, I could totally benefit to going to these seasides and stuff and trying to compete to go win and just like get that confidence back, you know?
Yeah, I think Myles won 3 straight seasides in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He won with Bill and Marty. Was it what? Marty, Bill, and Bill? Or, well, he didn't. Did he play last year? I think they were gone.
Were they?
The 3 seasides that, because Zon and Avery won last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, maybe not
Adam
in a row.
and Jeremy.
Okay.
But I think the last 3 he's played, he's won.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's won 3 straight for him.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I feel like with Bill and Myles, like, some of that almost worked to their favor, that they went out and they had a different kind of pressure. You know, because I always talk to Bill, like, whenever he comes to practice in the morning, and he's always just like, you want to talk about pressure? Flying to Egypt for a country quota.
Yeah.
He's like, there's nothing, like, an AVP qualifier, like, is relaxing compared to that. So I feel like it's some, like, all that world traveling that him and Myles had to do out of necessity probably prepared him for, like, a lot of these high-stakes moments, like you guys losing 11-21 to Chase and Casey, and then coming back and winning that next set. Like, I feel like Bill's probably, like, the best partner for you right now, not only because, like, he's super consistent, but, like, really calm and so smart. Like, you can almost see, like, Bill just thinking. And I feel like you guys got better not only as the tournament went on, but every match, the longer the match went. You know, we looked at, you guys won every 3-setter until the last one, which is really impressive. Because you guys played, what, 6 3-setters?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't think it's a coincidence that you won all this. Because I feel like the smarter team will win the 3rd set almost every time.
It's funny because Bill, you know, after a big play, I want to celebrate a little bit. Strut around. Bill's like, come here. Get over here. And then he's bringing me in. He's whispering. He's looking, and he kind of looks at the other team, and he's thinking, and then he looks at the other team, and he's like, go over here, serve this ball. We're going to do this.
That's the
like,
best.
You get this.
Yeah.
So it really did narrow my focus,
Yeah.
where I didn't
Yeah.
have to think as much as,
Totally.
I have to do this, have to do this.
No, that's so helpful.
Yeah.
I always crack up. I could see you wanting to celebrate, and Bill be like, no, come here.
A few times I couldn't. No. Yes.
Calm down a little.
Good. Relax. And but that last game against Casey and Chase, coming in the second set, and even in the third set, he was firing up the crowd.
Yeah.
Because he does whatever he thinks it'll take to win.
Right.
Which is smart.
If it's
True
celebrating, it's celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not and conserving his energy because he knows it's gonna, he's gonna need it,
Yeah.
then he's gonna save it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, like, celebrating is really fun, but nothing's more fun than winning. You guys did a lot of that
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah, I did a lot of both.
Yeah. ran a few laps, a few extra laps.
I did. After our Came and Jeremy match, when I ran like full speed around the court,
You were probably so tired.
and then after like, why did I do that?
God damn it! I have to play again.
That was so funny.
How long were the warm-ups as the tournament went on?
Mine got shorter and shorter. Bill's stayed about the same. He was so consistent.
Yeah.
He had his routine. He's going to do his routine, and I'm going to do that, but I'm going to cut it in the third.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
he definitely cut his a little bit too, but
Yeah.
he's a little bit bigger on the warm-ups
Right.
than I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm so warm.
Yeah. I'm overly cooked right now.
Yeah. I mean, 45 minutes. It felt like an hour, 45 minutes between every
Yeah.
match that we played.
Yeah.
We played more than we sat.
Yeah. That's pretty.
That's
nice.
crazy for a beach volleyball tournament where there's usually like a ton of downtime.
Yeah. Because my dad lives right across the street, but I couldn't
They
go
were probably
back to his house.
exhausted. If I was your fan, I would have been exhausted. Like if I had to watch everything,
Yeah.
like, dude, I need a break. I need to go take a nap.
That was so funny you say that because a lot of my family that came, which we had a solid crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So Rafi was pissed. He was like, why is everyone cheering for Bill? God.
Yeah. We had a solid following. But I couldn't go back to my dad's house to catch a break. Like
Right.
it was there, and yeah, it was a lot.
Did
Yeah.
he even make it back to his house to take a break?
One time, it was right after we lost to Ratledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the beginning.
Yeah. That was the only time I went back.
Wow. Yeah.
Because there was a pretty heavy break between that one, and then after that it was just like hyperspeed for you guys the whole time. Because like right after we played, and you had like half hour, 45 minutes, then you played John and Theo, and then the next morning you like played Kyle and Duncan.
Yeah.
Turned right around.
And
And then you
we played Rosie.
Rosie and Ricardo.
Yeah. Had a little bit more of a break.
Yeah.
Then we played Avery and Chase.
Went to 3 again.
Went to 3 again.
Love the third set.
Yep.
Get the crowd they want. They come
Yeah,
out to watch
for
volleyball,
sure.
so just give them more of it.
Of course. Like, dude, just like shank this ball right now. Want to go 3? Oh man, so
I
ridiculous.
feel like with it's like with players like you and Troy, and I remember like Chase and Brunsting when they were like first starting to come up. Everyone always talks about like, oh yeah, it's like so much potential. It's just a matter of time. Like so much potential. It's a matter of time. And then we saw like Troy's made his breakthrough, and now he's like a Sunday regular.
Yeah.
Was it ever frustrating? Because I'm sure that like you got that a ton. Was it ever frustrating for you to like hear that and be like, oh, it's just a matter of time, and then you were just like, well, when's it gonna happen?
I don't know. I know that everyone's timeline's different.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people be like, oh, I'm this age, so I should probably be doing this at this age.
Yeah.
Because he is. But there's a lot of those pressures, and I feel like it's easy for younger guys, girls, to look up to people, the superstars that are coming up when they're right out of college and placing super high. I mean, there's a lot of that. A lot of girls that are my age that are in contention to winning tournaments. And I'm like, man, yeah, when is that going to come? Am I going to be like 25? Am I 26? I don't really know, and I didn't really put too much pressure on myself to do that. I just said it's going to come when it's going to come. Like, everyone has their own timeline. Like, I'm just going to keep grinding.
Yeah.
So I try not to put too much pressure on myself to want it now, which I do want it now. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a psychology factor there for me to really not put too much pressure on myself and not looking for the finish, but looking for the growth. Because once you have that partner, once you've done the work, then you put it all together and then you have that finish.
Right. We are going to take a quick second to pause for a commercial break from our sponsors who keep the show moving forward as always, as do you, the listeners. You guys are by far the most important part of this show. Just wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who always says hi at the beach and says thanks for the show, thanks for all the information, for putting it out. And honestly, I almost feel bad taking gratitude and thanks because it's just a blast. It's an absolute blast for me and Try to just talk volley, and it's an absolute blast to know that you guys are listening. So a huge thank you to you guys, the listeners. You are the reason that we do the show in the first place and the reason that it keeps going on. Another big reason is the fact that you are still supporting our sponsors. One of our favorites, obviously, the ball maker of them all, Wilson Volleyball. The AVP plays with it. The CBVA plays with it. The college girls play with it. Everyone plays with Wilson Volleyball except for the FIVB who uses a Mikasa, but we're not going to worry about that for now because for now, it's the end of AVP season, which means that your balls are probably a little bit beat up and that you probably need some replacements. So order some at wilsonvolleyball.com and use our discount code WilsonSand for 20% off. All right, that'll get you a bunch of new volleyballs that you'll need heading into the off season at the end of season here as it winds down. Our next sponsor. Now, all the beach players listen to this. You need something to do with all your prize money. Might as well go over to Pacific Coast Wealth Management. Hit up our guys over there. They can help you out with a retirement portfolio. They can put your money in all the right spots. They're great guys. They know beach volleyball. They're the ones who help put on the Laguna Beach Open. So hit up our guys at Pacific Coast Wealth Management and talk to them about your finances today. And last but certainly not least of our sponsors, we have Firefly Recovery. And God bless those guys at Firefly because they are the only reason that my knees are still intact at this point in the season. Travel, it isn't just a pain to travel anymore. You can actually recover while you travel. You can just strap them on your knees and it moves the blood flow around. So when you step off the plane, you're not all stiff and you don't need a full day or two to get ready to play. You are just ready to rock and roll as soon as you step off the plane. If you are an office worker, you can slap those things on while you're in the office and it'll go. I've gotten a lot of messages about Firefly and how great they are. So give them a try today at Firefly Recovery. And now back to the show. I saw a really good quote the other day that like your results are a lagging result of a lagging like finish of your habits. So you put together your habits say 2 years ago, and that'll pay off like 3 years after that.
Yeah.
And so like all the stuff that you're doing, like none of it's immediate. It's like same thing like your like how you look is like a lagging result of your diet, and same thing. So I feel like with you, like I've seen like how hard you've been working. And like, so I was one of those people who was like, it's just a matter of time till Beranek makes it through. Now we have it.
What did I do 2 years before I broke my hand? Trying to think about that.
Well, that's what I mean. You look at, all the Hawaiian kids and like, it makes total sense that you guys are so good because you developed the beach habits so early and so young that like your results came much earlier because those habits were developed at such a young age.
Yep.
It's like the baby court is so
legendary
for a
What
reason.
about the mental habits?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know about.
It's the same thing. I mean,
because you're playing, you're getting the experience.
Developing it at a young age. And then, you just building and building. I mean, what age did you guys first remember doing something? Someone might not have even told you, but you're doing something to, like, figure out your mental game in sports. Like, I remember it was in high school, maybe, like, junior, senior year in high school where I realized like when I thought too much and I didn't even know anything about meditation, sports psychology, all that. Yeah. But when I tried too hard, basically that was the first thing I noticed. When I tried too hard, I sucked. And then when I just like sat back and my coach told me, he would tell everyone what to do. You do this, you do this, you do this, and we'd try, don't think. So I'd be like, okay, that's my thing. Just don't think, and I'll play good. So I kept that like through college and everything. And then I picked up, once I went pro, like I would literally repeat that in my head. And I didn't know it was like a real sports psychology. But once I went pro, picked up a sports psychology book, Inner Game of Tennis, and then like it's just freaking compiled from there, where you're just constantly trying new things out. And you're like, oh, I thought this last match, so I'm going to keep doing that. And if it stops working, I'll change it. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to keep it forever.
Yeah.
And then you just keep building this wealth of knowledge, and you keep growing. But it's funny because it seems like it never changes. Like, that place where you were at last week, let's say. Yeah. And you're like, am I going to get that? Am I going to get that breakthrough? Blah, blah, blah. Now you're here, and you're going to reset your mind. You're going to be like, now I want this. You always want the next thing, and it never really feels better. It just, the idea of moving forward feels better, but not like because I'm here at step 4, I want 5, and I feel the same way as I did when I was at step 2 and I wanted 3. So you kind of have to like relax into that and just be like, that's just the journey. But the part that feels good is moving forward and growing and learning. Yeah. And then you kind of just try to find ways to move and grow and understand that it really is a 2-step forward, 1 step back journey. For sure. So like when you're in those lows, you're like, this is just brutal. But then at some point you break through and you take that step to step 5, 6, whatever, it's infinite. And then you're like, oh, it's all worth it. And then you just reset. Oh, now I want to go here. And then it sucks and it's good and bad. And then eventually you take that step.
People give up.
People give
expectations are so high and they want it so badly, but they're not willing to stick it out. Right. And it's not like it's a guaranteed that you're going to get it, that you're putting in the work. Right. But I feel like the doubt in people's minds is just the reason why they lose. Like,
and you got to put thought into it, I think. Think about what you're actually setting a goal to do. Is it actually possible, first of all? Yeah. And is it what you really want? Are you actually going to be fulfilled when you get there? Yeah. And be happy. And is there somewhere to go from there, I think some people set goals, like whether it's financial or like, I just want to make this amount of money. And then you're like, I wanted to make $100,000. And then like me, I thought I'd be, when I was younger, I didn't know anything about money. I thought I could be set for life with $100,000. Yeah. Eventually I got there and I was just like, oh, it's gone. Wow, that was quick. Yeah. Throw a little here, throw a little there, and we're back to square one. Okay. I guess I need like 500, So now I'm trying to get to 500.
Long story short.
This 500. Weekend's not really getting me there. Yeah. No, but the mental game's just constantly growing, And it also transfers into the real world a lot as I'm learning, as I'm taking this next step with a family and having a kid. I'm like, wow, this is like, your mind explodes. You're like, holy crap, there's so much more to everything I ever thought. I was just worried about myself. And then I got married, okay, worried about the wife, like that's a game changer. But now it's a kid, I'm like, whoa, like 100% dependent on me. And even my volleyball, realistically, which
different
I have to figure out how to take on that challenge and not take on that pressure, because that's a way gnarlier pressure than just me wanting to win Manhattan or winning some prize money.
Do you think that's going to take less pressure off you?
I'm
or more?
Right now I'm just like, hands up, I surrender. I'm like, whatever happens. I'm just going to come back after this kid and just I'm fully reset and just be okay with whatever comes, because I don't know the answer. That's so fair. I could try to figure it out and then commit to it. Yeah. But I don't know the answer yet. So I'm just going to let life kind of tell me what to do and then go from there. But, I mean, I've had a lot of stuff happen to me throughout the years that tells me that this one will be fine too. You just trust it and find your path through it.
Yeah, life has prepared you for some adversity.
That's for sure. What the hell? Yeah. I'm like, my mission now is just to stay on the court. That's my new mission. I want to win and all. I still want to win and obviously the Olympics, but geez, I think I just need to set my mission to stay on the court. Yeah. That's important.
Good things happen after that.
Yeah. good things tend to happen when I'm just there.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With you, E, like coming into the season, we talked a little bit about expectations and doubt, and how Corey talked to you about wanting to win versus expecting to win.
Mm-hmm.
How did you balance kind of the expectations, which everybody has, no matter how hard we try to fight those expectations?
Yeah.
And I think everybody has a little bit of at least a seed of doubt at some point. If you say losing a qualifier or something, you're just well, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. How do you go about managing that? Because I know for me, I just look at the tiny micro gains from each tournament, and that helps me be all right, well, we did get better because I passed better on the left than I ever have, or whatever it may be.
Also, paying your rent. How's that part, right? Because a lot of people have to get jobs.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is at your level right now. Everyone's different what they got to do, but
yeah.
How's that been?
Luckily, I have my parents to help me out with that, because otherwise I would still be at home.
Yeah.
But I coach here and there, give private lessons, and then I also work at a bar called Georgia's, which is up the street from you guys, Aviation and Prospect.
Oh,
so I bar back there. Yeah.
You need to be a bartender. You would be the greatest bartender.
That's what the old school guys used to do back in the day. They'd train all day, and then they'd go to their bartending job, and then later I'll probably be some real estate agent.
Invest all my volleyball money in real estate.
In the off season, I sold a piece of fitness equipment and traveled the country doing that.
Rad. Hell yeah.
And then before that, I was working aerospace manufacturing, making small components for missile defense systems in a sweaty machine shop.
Whoa.
You've got full spectrum.
Everyone's got their story, it's so different everyone you ask, some people are fortunate to have a little help here so they can make ends meet, and some people give themselves a timeline, right? So it's like the Will Montgomery, and I've heard of a few other players doing this as well, but they're this date, after this season, 3 years, if I didn't make it, I don't know what make it means, then I'm quitting and I'm going to get a real job and move on in the real world, which isn't for me. I don't believe in the whole timeline thing, but it works for some people.
Yeah, Jane said, all right, you got, I forget if it was 2 to 5. I forget what the actual number was, but she's if you're not providing for the family, we're going back to Utah, you're getting in the business.
Right.
And then Jake wins one with Adam Jewell, gets picked up by Stein, he's the best player in the world.
Right. Yeah.
And Jane was wow, that worked out.
I
should crack the whip more often.
Yeah, seriously, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the whole timeline thing. The coolest thing about playing with Bill, I'll tell you, is so my senior year of high school, I fell off a cliff in Abalone Cove. I was climbing. The rock snapped on me. I went down 20 feet. I broke my hand. I had 32 stitches in this hand. I had to get knee surgery. And I was all right, some of these D2, maybe 1 or 2 D1 schools, but most D2 schools, I felt D3 I could have gone to.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll just stay local. But I ended up going to OCC in Costa Mesa.
You grew up and you went to
Redondo. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I wanted to get a little bit away.
Yeah.
And OCC had a really good team, and I liked the coach there.
Just popped out of the bubble a little bit.
Yeah. So I was you know what? I'm going to go here. I'm going to get focused. I'm going to transfer in a year. Get out of there. I busted my ass. The first day of practice, I showed up, and the coach was "You're redshirting." I'm what? I'm getting out of here in a year to go play at a D1. This isn't happening.
Right.
And then he said that, and every day at practice, I'd go in. This guy Ryan Clayton, who ended up playing at UC Santa Barbara, I was competing against him, and he's an awesome guy. We're buddies to this day, but I'll be "Hey, coach said you're out." and he'd be "Okay," and then we'd switch. I'd get in, and the coach would be "Why the hell is Beranek in? Clayton, get back in!" And I'd grab a rag and start freaking ragging it up. But I kept doing that, yeah. And then I'd go back the next day, Coach told me I'm in. He's like, no, you're serious this time? I was like, yeah, I'm serious this time. I did that so much that he started to see my play, and then I ended up starting that season. But I dropped out because I was so discouraged with my grades and everything that I wasn't going to be able to make it through. And that's when I started working for my dad at the aerospace manufacturing company. I'm like, is this going to be my life? Like, I'm going to be working in a machine shop. Mm-hmm. And I did that for a little while. And one day I didn't show up to work. And it was actually, then the next day I told my dad, yeah, I'm coming. I didn't show up to work. I got on my skateboard and cruised down and met Holly McPeak on the beach. And I asked her for a coaching job. And then she told me there was this guy, his name's Marcio Ciccoli. He wears Pepperdine gear. He'll be down tomorrow at 15th Street. And then I cruise down to the beach and I see this guy coming down the steps with Pepperdine gear. Looks like a Brazilian guy. I'm like, oh, you must be Marcio. And from that point on, the next morning, I was helping out Carrie and April, and then Bill and Casey. Every day for like 4 months.
Nice.
8 to 10, April, Carrie. 10 to 12, Bill and Casey.
Just volunteering.
Yeah, just volunteering. But that's when I met Bill. I was like 18, 19, playing against him.
Wow.
So it was really special to play with Bill. And I remember at that point, like I just got my AA.
Yeah.
And then my AAA, and Carrie was posting on my Instagram, like, keep working, E. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to be a professional volleyball player. Like I had no clue, and I actually had no intention of going out to play and play. I actually wanted to coach. Mm-hmm. I was like, my playing's done. Right. I'm going to coach. I'm going to go under Marcio. I started to coach Redondo High School, and then their beach team, their indoor, and then I had a men's and women's team for Mizuno and Rockstar, and we were doing well. I have a bronze medal indoor and a silver medal. So
there you go.
I'll take it. My JO's career, coaching only. But that's how it kind of sparked me, because April and Carrie, just seeing them grind for Rio, and then Bill and Casey, and just the energy and the grit, and how Marcio was got him in line. Like every freaking practice, he brought that fire, and I was just like, holy shit, I can do this. I want to do this. This is great. And then we were talking about expectations. When I said I wanted to be a professional volleyball player when I had my AA, to my friends and family, they all looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, oh, yeah, you want to be an actor too?
Hollywood's right over there.
Yeah. This is like, you probably have a better shot at that. I'm like thanks, Dick. So that was kind of a funny and weird thing that I struggled with. And that having my dad having a family, like a successful family business, he's like, just come here. Like, your life will be set. Like, you have this.
Yeah.
But I was just like, no, I'm going to suffer and play beach volleyball.
Suffer and go to the beach every morning.
And it was funny because now, like, today my dad is the biggest fan. My mom always said, like, day one, like, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
But my dad was always like, oh, like, you want me to get you in like a trade school, or what are you thinking here? You want to be a hairdresser? I remember every day he would send me ideas.
Wow.
And we were just like constantly butting heads.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. But I ended up moving out, and then I don't know, something sparked.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
What comes to mind for me is I think most people that make it or like, struggle in the beginning, they just have like a drive to like learn and understand the value of learning versus being given things.
Yeah.
So like the fact that you went out there and volunteered your time and was like so stoked on gaining the knowledge, I think that's probably the factor that is pushing you to where you're at now. And you've come up to me a few times, right, over the last few years. I think in Austin or something, and you're just like this young guy, like, hey, like, so what are they doing out there? Like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just watching the match, dude. It's like, are they doing it right, or like just trying to learn anything? I'm like, I don't know. I kind of just wing it out there, but try to say something,
Yo, try. Give me something. Give me something to walk away with here.
I'm not much of a thinker out there. I just kind of go.
That's funny.
But no, it's good though. Like that's what you got to do. I think I need to do that more for people who have, are good at other things that I'm not so good at. And I think you got to continue that for sure. Valuing that knowledge, especially when you're young. Like for all the young players up and coming, like they got to follow in your footsteps in that sense. And everyone's going to have their own journey. And some people are going to come from nothing and have to fight that way, and other people are going to come from maybe being, coming from a lot. And in a lot of ways, that's hard to break through because everything's been given to you, and you really have to take it upon yourself to value that knowledge and that those experiences. You can't just be given. Your parents can't hand you a main draw wild card, or a birth.
No.
So yeah, good on you for that, for sure. Keep learning, buddy. It's good to ask older players too. I think we all want to help each other out, but we're also competitors. So
I know, it's a weird balance,
right? It's tricky, but I think you got to go for it.
Yeah.
Most players just respect it. If you're from afar and you're playing and you're showing that you're a competitor, it's all right, I got to beat his ass. But if you come up and you want to learn, then you're oh, okay, I could be a part of helping this guy come up. And I think the older players will want to be a part of that and help out for sure.
Yeah. Myles has been a big help, Myles Evans, for me.
Yeah.
We've been buddies ever since I was coaching at Rockstar. He was there. And we met the first day. I remember we were sitting together helping these little girls with their uniform fittings and different things, which sounds horrible. But no, oh, we're gonna mark you down for a large. We're gonna make you down for a size.
I'm
13.
glad you're specific on that.
Yeah, of course. Just to be clear. Anyways, Myles and I both looked at each other. We're I don't really know what I'm doing. He's I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm what's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Want to hang out?
Yeah, I want to hang out. It was funny, and I'd seen him play. I was dude, this guy's so freaking good. And Ricardo Diamante, his coach at the time, and Myles, we were working 6 months straight together, 4 or 5 days a week, where it was just Ricardo coaching, Myles and I. So Myles and I have always had that kind of connection ever since I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
And then now to this day, he'll be dude, I got to teach you a few things. So he's always been kind of that for me. And then I've told him dude, freaking get it together. Come on, Myles. Do it. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's good that you have definitely surrounded yourself with a really strong community of people who I always think that you're a product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, and you look at the people that you spend the most time with, and they're all pretty electrifying beach volleyball players, you, Myles, you and Troy, now you and Bill, all of you guys are coming up together, which I think is great. And then you going down to the beach just to spend time with Marcia, one of the best coaches in the game today, and Carrie and April, 2 of the best athletes in the history of the sport, and 2 of the best athletes in just sport in general.
Yeah.
And you get Bill and Casey. How much did you learn just from being around them and just observing?
I think the biggest thing was attitude, work ethic, but it was more so you have to be professional. You have to train like a professional. Carrie would always be this is my job. 5 times a week I go to the office, go to the beach, and they would 5 times a week, and they bring the same intensity every single day. Same thing with Casey. So I respect the hell out of those guys.
Yeah. I remember when I was when I lived in Huntington. I don't know how much you've trained down there, but so it used to be when Casey and Jake were playing together and they lived in Huntington, they had Court 1 on the south side of the pier, and that was their spot. And when I first moved here, I didn't know that was their thing, so I put my bag down on Court 1, and Casey shows up. I was oh my God, it's Casey Patterson. He immediately starts putting his lines over top of mine, and he's just do I come into your office and sit at your desk? I was no, you don't. He's all right, you're going to take Court 3. Because court 2 was Ty Tramley's.
Oh man, that is
I picked up my
ridiculous.
lines and moved them over. That was the first time that I thought that, wow, this is actually someone's job.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was just like, oh, this is a fun thing to do.
That's a tricky thing. It's like a fine line, you know. Someone goes in a court, you're like, yeah, I understand. Like, because most people get mad, even if you're a pro. You're like, listen, this is our job. Like, they'll still get mad. Oh, of course, it's a public court. You know, we're like, yeah, but we're here like every day. Yeah, and like this is the court we come to. Like, you know,
yeah, but
it's a fine line.
I
it is.
I really respected it at the time though, and me and Casey were talking about it the other day at practice that now that him and Jake have left and there's not any like most of like the big guys are in Hermosa or Manhattan now, that it's like total anarchy in Huntington. But it used to be such a point of pride to be on court. Like that front row of courts on the south side. Like court 2 was Tramley's. Like to get on that court was like you earned it. And court 1 was Casey and Jake's. And like to get on that, like you earned it. Now it's just like there's none of that. Like there was like some really cool tradition there.
Yeah.
I thought it was like just really cool like to have that in Huntington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 8th Street, those were Rosies Courts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a crapshoot with everybody.
It was Mesco for a while.
Yeah.
Mesco, if you're listening, you blew it.
Yeah. Dude, the house
You invited
burned,
way too many people.
the house burnt down
I think it was like arson.
in front.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's a bummer.
808 the Strand.
Yeah.
It needed to be in the hands of a Hawaiian. 808.
It did.
So Madame Pele burned it down. The fire goddess.
Damn.
Yeah, but it is funny. Like I talked to Jose, and like he talks about back in the day, and it was like everyone just goes to Marine Street every day.
Yeah.
And they hang out from 9 in the morning till the sun goes down, and they just stay there
play.
and just play. Yeah, whoever shows up, just people could come in and try to beat them too, and like beat them off their court. Like, yeah, you can play. Just if we beat you, then leave. Beat it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You can try to beat us, and they would just run the court like that and play and like not even drill really, and party really hard.
Yeah.
Probably having drinks during the practices, but
Probably.
yeah, it's interesting how it's changed so much. Now Jose like hides himself. I won't even say where.
Right? I know.
Secret. You mentioned that you put in like kind of the work and the quote unquote grind that everybody loves to put out there every day. Like, what does it look like for you right now? Like, what's kind of the day to day?
Well, tomorrow, I mean, I'll even start, after this, I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to work. And I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to play with Rosie against Jake and Taylor.
Nice.
Which is my first
Solid
ever
practice,
Jake and
right?
Taylor call.
There you go.
So that was pretty cool.
Getting Rosie up at the net.
You earned the call.
Yeah, I earned the call.
There you go.
That was my first call. And I earned this call, too.
Yeah, true.
I was like, you know what? When I get this call, it means I did something good. So I'm happy to be here. So thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, stoked to have you on.
Yeah.
Stoked that you earned your way on.
You're the best story of the week.
I'll take it.
Sorry, Trevor. You're out.
No, he's gonna be on.
Yeah, I mean, he's already been on too many times.
Okay.
So we'll see.
How fun was it playing on Sunday?
It was amazing.
Yeah. Is it different vibe? 'Cause I've never been there. So is it any different than playing on a Saturday?
What was it like going to the players' tent in comparison
I
to the
felt
days before?
good. I just felt like, I walk in there and then people aren't looking at me like, oh, that guy's gonna lose. Like, there was a different energy, and I just like felt it within, and I felt other people was like looking at them like, come on, let's go, pussy. Like, take it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It felt like I finally like belonged in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where I was just
Rather than sneaking
there.
in and grabbing snacks on Sunday,
Yeah.
like, oh, I still got my player pass.
Yes.
Like, hey, I would never ask to get
Sorry.
like worked on.
Yeah.
On a Sunday, like take someone's spot or
Right.
It just it felt good. It felt really good.
Yeah.
The best thing about it was how many people came to support us.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fans.
Yeah. Everybody loves an underdog story.
Yeah,
I feel like
they do
you guys,
love
like
underdogs.
every win, you guys probably just picked up another just pack of fans, another pack of fans. And I was watching,
Totally.
me and Delaney were watching your semifinal while we were driving home from church, and I was like, this place is mobbed. And they're playing a really popular team, Casey and Chase, and no one's rooting for Casey and Chase. It was crazy.
That was pretty insane.
Yeah. It was cool, though. I could look around the court, and I felt like I knew a lot of people. So I felt like, a lot of people in the South Bay that at one point I had seen, or they were on the court next to me training, or I'd coached their son, or there was some sort of relation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had that home court advantage. I mean, Hermosa, Manhattan, I grew up here in Redondo.
Yeah.
I'm running around the Strand almost every day.
Yeah.
So it felt like I definitely had that home court advantage with a lot of my friends and my family and acquaintances.
Sounded like it.
And I think you and Troy especially do such a good job of just getting fans just with your personalities. Both like on the court, off the court, social media, like you guys are always just like happy bouncing around, like, and Troy especially.
Yeah, he's a social media guy.
Yeah, like that guy.
I'm not gonna take that.
That guy loses, and then like 20 minutes later, he's like helping Mark Sherman with the halftime show, and he's just like bouncing around like happy as can be. And I was like, how does he do that? Like I lose, and I just want to like go sit in the ocean for 3 hours and not talk to a single person. And then like, not that like either of you take like losing, not like you're not serious about it, but you're able to respond really well, I think. And I think that you're just the way your personalities are, like you attract those fans, like you earn them. So it's fun to watch.
I don't know. I think my buddy sent me a text, and he was like, "Hey Eric, I'm really impressed with the way that you compose yourself. You played like a true professional, and now you're at a different role, and you're gonna have kids looking up to you now." And I feel like there's a little of that,
Yeah.
Maybe when you lose, and some kids, out front wanting to get an autograph, I'm not gonna be like, "Yo, beat it." I don't know. I can't get mad if some little kid's coming up to me and saying good job, and I feel like Troy, like after he has a great match, like why not? Like even if you lose, like go and have fun and screw around with Mark Sherman.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. I think at that point it is like a little bit more than volleyball.
Yeah.
People are coming and taking their time out of their day. If they lose, like show some gratitude and thank them for coming.
Yeah.
And then scream into a towel as loud as you can. In Hermosa, I got a red card for screaming "Wake the F up" at the top of my lungs. And then the year before, I got a red card for didn't use the towel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swim straight out to sea, and then I just dive. I'm just under there, just doing my thing.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds to a minute or so.
Yeah, but I'm cursing Hermosa with a red card because the year before that, I kicked the ball, almost destroyed someone. I was like, I am so sorry. It was not me back there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like a different role.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I got yellow carded.
Hey, congrats.
In our match against you
From
guys.
Mr. Nice Guy over here.
It wasn't even me. Rafi got me the yellow card.
Oh,
he was
you didn't
peeing
even
for too
earn
long.
it?
The ref, it was really
For
funny.
peeing?
Yeah. He had to go to the bathroom.
That's awesome.
And like the bathrooms in Manhattan were not close to our
No,
court.
they were so far.
Yeah, it was probably like if he had walked, it would have been like a
They were in
5-10
the
minute
parking
walk,
lot.
and then he had to pee. And like Rafi drinks like 20 bottles of water per match, so like that's another 10 minutes gone, and then walk back.
Shouldn't
Probably why he lost. He couldn't run to snag my high line because he was so tired from running to the bathroom.
Totally.
So the ref is like, "I'm really sorry about this, but since you're the standing captain right now, I have to give you a yellow card." She's like, "Are you ready? It's really pretty." I like
That's
fake
funny.
freaked out. It's like, "No way! This is horseshit."
Pull the lines up.
Jeez. That's funny.
Got carded for a different reason.
Yes. Better reason.
Yeah.
Still not for losing your cool.
No.
One day.
In practice, I like let it go sometimes, and then it's like I'm okay for matches. But practice, I'll give the ball a good punt or two, and then have a nice long walk to get the ball. I come back and I'm cool.
I think it's whatever you can like really handle.
Yeah.
You can't get so frustrated that you're out of it. Mm-hmm. But I know Casey Patterson, we'll see him just like scream and then he's back.
Yeah. My dad texted me. It was funny because he went to AVP New York last year, and he called me. He always watches the finals on Amazon. He's like, hey, I'm watching this one. He's like, your buddies are Trevor. I was like, yeah. And he goes, I saw Reed punt a ball into the Hudson in New York.
Yeah.
That was his last memory.
Watching a different guy now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's
gotta
more
let it
fun
go.
to be a little more animated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this sport, it's not what it used to be, and we talk about how we can get more money and sponsorships, and people aren't going to want to sponsor someone who is just completely boring and dull.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the appeal?
Right.
There's no appeal,
Yeah.
and you have to, of course, be yourself.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if you can't fake it, like if you are that guy, there's going to be something. There's going to be a characteristic if you're truly you,
Right.
Regardless,
Let it out.
It's going to come out of you
Right.
at some point if you're not holding back.
Yeah.
But there's something different. There's a vibe that's different on tour now than there was in the 80s and the 90s.
Totally.
Where there would be less red cards,
Yeah.
less yellow cards flowing.
Totally.
But I don't know. I kind of want to see it
It's a
go back to
fine
that.
line,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
everyone says that. Like, we got to be more like if you bring Hav in here, he's like, you guys are a bunch of bitches. Like, like I'm like, yeah, I get it, but it's also a different time, and
it is.
to a certain extent, people don't want to see that. But like what you said, if you can bring out your authentic, raw emotions, that's what people want to see. They just want to see you
Be you.
share what you're feeling, basically. And you have to, don't get red cards at the wrong time. Don't be a bad influence on the kids watching around.
For sure.
But, I mean, we're entertainers, right? And people want to relate to us, so they want to feel those feelings that we're feeling on the court. So I think that's, basically what you're saying. We got to let it out a little bit. It's just hard to find the balance. And I don't think we can always look back to the other judge, oh, wow, I should pull the net down like Curt Toppel did, like have a full meltdown.
Yeah.
You can't, like, really compare to what they did because it was such a different time. And it was a party sport back then.
For sure.
Now the AVPs, this is a family lifestyle kind of sport. So just got to keep it real, whatever that means.
Yeah. That means I wasn't supposed to be drinking between our matches.
Oh, Kona Brew, dude. Kona Brews. No, you do what you got to do, but
Yeah, that's fair.
but it's a Kona Brew kind of,
I didn't say
cruise
that,
party.
Billy. I didn't say that.
I feel like one of the most important things that I've found in my game is figuring out my on-court personality and like who I am as a competitor. And I feel like that's something that you're dialing in right now, because I feel like we've both kind of gone through different phases. Like there was one point where I was like, all right, I'm gonna be super serious and I'm gonna be like kind of mad, and I was like so tight and tense, and it just like was so uncomfortable. And then I was like almost too relaxed, and then now I'm at this point where like I'm just super comfortable just being like really happy, and like I'm happy to celebrate, and like if I do something stupid, I'll like literally laugh at myself out loud. And like it got to the point where like Myles was just like, that was pretty hilarious. So, like you just did a jumbo 45 feet long.
Yeah.
Rafi's not used to it yet, but like just figuring out who you are as a competitor, I think is so big, and I feel like that's probably something that's helping you out, because it seems like you're finding who you are on the court. Yeah,
I think Bill helped me with that this tournament. But it also was that like the want to win.
Yeah.
So I felt myself being a lot more competitive than normal. Like after the game, I was just like, yo, sorry, like maybe I didn't high five you here, but I'm like, I don't want to. Like I felt like there was a different Eric on the court this weekend, with just a different energy, more of like a, screw you energy.
Yeah.
Which
very,
I needed it.
Yeah.
But Bill also kept me focused in that.
It's very similar energy, I think, to like an Avery Drost. Off the court, the nicest dude on the planet. And like on the court, like he'll get super intense, and he's like this ruthless competitor. Yeah. And like I love competitors like that. They're like fire nonstop. As soon as it's over, like it's off. And he's like great again. He'll like after our match, we lost 16-14. He's like, dude, like awesome match. He's like, I'm really sorry I like yelled a bunch. I was like, dude, like let it go. Like have at it. Like I love that fire. And then like as soon as it's over, like shakes your hand, tells you what a great job you did.
Yeah, like
and
within
then, like,
seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like still in that competitive mode. Like I'm like, like
Get away
I'll
from me.
smash a ball and be like, scream, and he's like, hey, you played really well today, like great job. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, let's step off the court. Like I'm still mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care,
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody can turn it on and off as quick as Avery. That's for sure.
He does a great job.
But you
with
got to be able to do it too. Like there's some players over the years who have,
Can't.
storming out of the tent and like they don't want to look you in the eyes and like all that and like
The 10.
this is beach volleyball. Like this isn't tennis where you like can have your separate group and go your separate way at all times and whatever. Like we travel the world together, we travel the country together. Let's not make this a year-long like dilemma. Like when we step on the court, gloves are off.
Yeah.
But off the court, figure it out. Suck it up.
Yeah, we were talking about the tent. The tent's such a weird place.
Isn't it weird on Sunday? I was going to say that earlier. Because now there's less people, and it's only the people you're about to fight against, and you want it more and more. There's more on the line, and it's just like you're sitting across the table with them. When I first went, I was like, I came down this morning to the beach like with the mindset of hating you already.
Yeah.
But now I'm like eating breakfast next to you, and you're talking to me.
And
So
your
I'm like,
kids.
and your kids are really cute and playing with me, and like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
You really have to get used to that.
It's a weird balance that I was trying to figure out. Like, do I like even look at you?
Right. Can I look at them?
Can I look at them? Bill, can I look at them? Bill would be like, no.
Whenever they're rolling out, like, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's funny.
Don't look at me in the eyes.
Don't look at them. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Different vibe.
For
Probably
sure.
something that maybe only beach volleyball players will have.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like us in the Olympic race. We travel the world with each other, and we're like sharing flights across the world. It's like, I just want to hate you at all times. Like, my number one mission is to beat you, but it's just not worth my time to be stressed out off the court during this whole year. Like, I got to be able to sit down like at dinner with you, because there might be one table open at the players' dinner, and all the Americans are there. So yeah, it is definitely beach volleyball. It's just,
I think it's one of the
unique,
most mentally, like, just exhausting and tough sports.
Totally.
Because it's constant, and it's something that you don't get a lot of credit for. It's something that you may not get a lot of money for. Maybe you do. But yeah, you're always traveling with each other. You're seeing each other. You're training against each other. It's just the most bizarre vibe. But I feel like if you come, with it, with a good attitude, it could be good.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're moving on to Chicago.
Yeah.
And so you and Bill staying together? Because I know
staying together.
Partnership changes have been insane on the men's side. It went bananas. So I didn't know like where you guys were being in the mix-up of that, but staying together for Chicago.
As soon as we lost, I was like, Chicago? I was like,
steal that one out.
I'll sign us up right now.
Yeah, I got to sign us up today.
Automatic main draw. Congrats. No
Good
more
for you,
qualifiers for you.
Thank you.
Keep it that way.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
It'll be amazing to see what you can do without 3 extra matches on your legs.
It'll be fun. And maybe that's like the different type of pressure that you can like put on yourself.
Right.
Maybe you can, maybe you don't. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Now we do
It'll
have
be fun dealing with it, whatever it is.
Well, where can people follow you along on social media and such to figure out what's in the life of Eric Beranek?
Eric Beranek, beach volleyball.
Nice.
Beach volley.
You might see a lot of Troy Field and some
The ENT show.
some questionable stuff going on there.
Yeah. You know what? I've been pretty chill. I haven't even posted on Instagram that I got my third finish because I have to keep checking the website to make sure it's real.
Straight SANDCAST post tomorrow.
Yeah.
Posting tomorrow, right?
Brandy's tomorrow.
Oh, Brandy's tomorrow. Sorry, hers is
You're
more important.
Yes, that's
you're the
fine.
Wednesday.
That's fine.
You're the Wednesday before the qualifier. You don't have to play.
Perfect.
So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So our fans can listen to this and then watch you in Chicago.
Done.
Exactly.
I like it.
Now we do have one question we ask all of our listeners. If you had to give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
Whew. Yeah, I was gearing up for this one. And one piece of advice: don't listen to anyone except for yourself, because at the end of the day, you know, if this is something that you want to do and you want to strive for, and it's something realistic, hopefully you're a functioning human in society, you know, it can be real, it can be done, then you got to keep sticking with it and not let those losses discourage you. Doesn't matter the finish, but just take away something from each tournament and then work towards those during practice, and slowly but surely you're gonna X out those bad passes, and you're gonna work on the passes, and then those missed serves, and then you're not gonna miss any serves, and just keep narrowing that down, and good things are gonna happen.
Love it. E, congrats on the 3rd place finish.
Thank you.
Badass, man. Awesome
Yeah,
job,
buddy.
Boys, thanks for having me on.
Congrats.
Thanks for coming on.
Heck
Good
yeah.
luck in Chicago. I won't see you in the qualifier this year, thank heavens.
Hey,
Hope
there we
I'll see you in
go.
the main draw again.
Yes, you will.
All right, boys.
Shoots.
Shoots. I like that. I'll add it.